Hi, Elisabeth Dawson here. Welcome back to Ways to Love Your Money this week. We want to talk a little bit about hidden costs in retirement. So what do those maybe look like? Health insurance is a big factor, and so is long-term care. We also think that Medicare is going to take care of some of those things for us, but it's very limited about what they'll actually take care of. So Forbes came out with an article last June in 2018, and it talked about the average cost of a 70-year-old until death, about what it's costing that individual today, and it's about $120,000. So you can imagine with inflation over time that it's going to get more and more expensive the longer that we live. Consider these topics because this is what you should be factoring in your financial plan or your written retirement financial plan in retirement, because healthcare, long-term care, critical care, skilled nursing care, all those things need to be taken into consideration. And each and every year, you can be guaranteed that Medicare is going to have some changes in it. So you need to be adaptable. Right now, we are just on the midst of the Medicare open enrollment, which will be over in December. So think about these things as you're planning, if you're in that age group, that you really want to have a broker explain to you the differences and give you options, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and know what those supplements are that can actually bridge the gap in the coverage that you don't have. So again, we want to consider this because if we know we need to have 120,000 plus inflation, depending on how much time it takes us to get to age 70, we need to have a bucket of money that's just positioned individually for those expenses. Because if you choose not to have any of these insurances that are available out there, like long-term care, that encompasses all these different things, then you need to have your own plan. If you choose to self-insure, great, but you need to have a plan so that your loved ones know how to take care of you. And don't think that the government's just going to come in, because that's a plan for failure. If you have nothing left, that's the only time that the government's going to come in and help you for those long-term care facilities or hospice or any of those items that you think that you are going to be covered on, but you're maybe not. So create a plan, start to save those dollars, don't have any lost opportunity costs, and think about this as part of your financial planning for retirement. Stay tuned. We have a great guest to come. He's a young entrepreneur, and he's very driven, very excited. So I can't wait for him to be introduced. Welcome back to the show, Ways to Love Your Money. I'm Elisabeth Dawson. We have a great guest on the show today, Akshay Patel. I'm going to let him tell you his story and where he has created his successes in his life at this point. So welcome to the show.
Yeah,
I know you go by AK, so whatever you prefer, we'll go back and forth. Nice
AK
to meet
works.
you.
Nice
Good,
to meet you too.
Good.
I'm a real estate lender,
Okay.
right? So mortgages and everything like that, that's exactly what I do. I did that when I was in college full time.
Okay.
And so I had a mentor in college, and then ended up kind of like really loving that industry a little bit, even though you don't necessarily have to have a college degree to do that. Right. I think college was more of like a maturity thing for me. I really kind of like buckled down. I was focused in college, and I was working full time while I was going to college full time.
Okay.
And then, once I graduated, I came down here, started my business, and it kind of flourished pretty quickly.
So tell me about your business now. Where have you built it to? How many years has it been?
So it's been 2.5 years that I've actually been doing it.
Okay.
But now I have 4 employees that work for just me.
Okay.
We do probably close to $80 to $90 million in production a year, which is pretty good. I wanted to do $100 million this year, but we're just gonna blast past that and do 150 next year.
Okay.
And then so that's kind of been, we kind of grew like a really good team, and we kind of do things a little bit differently. It's more fun, and so like I wake up in the morning, I'm like super excited to get to work, and then get my stuff done, and then
that's the secret to life when you love what you do.
Yeah.
So 2.5 years you've been in the industry. You did it when you were going through college.
I was 2.5 years I've been here.
Here in San Diego.
And producing, like originating the loans and everything like that. Beforehand, I was just learning underneath somebody for 3.5 years.
So what gave you the courage to go out on your own and create your own business in this industry?
I think learning for 3 years full time, and with my mentor, I probably did close to like 450, 500 loans underneath him.
Okay.
And so like I kind of got I kind of saw the good, the bad, the ugly, the ugliest, and so I was just like, oh look, I've done it before, I can do it here.
Sure.
And I was just doing it a little bit differently.
Well, you were invited to go through a coaching program too. Do you want to let the audience know what that's all about?
Yeah. So I personally was getting coached by Tom but by a Tom Ferry coach, which
Okay.
he's the #1 real estate coach in the world.
Okay.
You know, and so one of my coaches was one of his, and we kind of saw the progress and everything like that. They saw my volume go up. They saw me making all the right moves. I was attending all the events, all that kind of good stuff, and then they invited me actually to be a coach.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
and that's like a whole other income stream that
Sure.
I have.
I know you. When we were talking before, you said you have clients all over the country
Yeah.
through this coaching program. So so tell me a little bit about that, because I think that's something you're really excited about right now.
Yeah. It's awesome. I get to actually like talk to everyone once a week, 30 minutes, and then I've just kind of like invested in their business.
Okay.
And it's fun because it was challenging for me to pull away from my business but still work the exact same amount of hours. You know.
Wow.
So it's like 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. I'm working on coaching.
Okay.
And then 9 to 9 I'm working on the business.
Wow. So you are really driven right now.
That's all I do.
Okay, so what are your big goals? What are your big goals since you've been basically in business for yourself for 2.5 years? You were in the industry for about 3 years prior to that to kind of get your feet wet, your experience on, and now you've got this great courage because you're out there doing it. You've got 4 employees. You're making it happen, and now you're actually trying to help make it happen for other people. So what's that next big goal that you have?
So they invited me to do speaker training with Tom Ferry. So I'm going to be training to become one of the speakers that go regional, travel anywhere. And so I want to do that. I want to be invited to speak at more events and stuff like that because I feel like not a lot of people know about mortgages. They think it's kind of boring, but I know it's super fun to me, you know. And I feel like a lot of people can be successful in it if they just have the right. What's the word? If they just have the right information.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
And someone that isn't like in a suit with a tie and just kind of, boring talking, like what people picture mortgage lenders to be, right? It's just, obviously it's not that.
Okay.
And so there's like a whole
So
other
you have
world.
a totally different personality for the mortgage side of doing the business.
Yeah, it's like a whole other world.
So when people come to you, what are their biggest concerns? Is it about fees? Is it about, hidden costs that they don't know? How well of an educator you are?
So a lot of the time they just wonder, what's the interest rate?
Okay.
And they're like, if you can beat this one, then do it. And I'm usually the guy that's like, look, I might not have the best interest rate. I usually do, but I go with, I'm going to actually save you money down the line because I'm going to show you kind of what to do, give you a few different options instead of just giving you one and saying like, go and take it.
So I have a little question since this is a money show.
Yeah.
And you're saying that you help people save money.
Yeah.
Are you really helping them save money by taking them to the next level of saying, okay, you've refinanced, you've gotten into this home, you're now in your happy place.
Yeah.
Now you're saving $800 a month.
So,
are they really saving it?
So
are you helping them encourage it?
Yeah. So I either do one or two things. There's a program that I use, and it has a reinvestment strategy inside of it.
Okay.
And so when you save money versus what their current situation is, say they save $280 a month.
Okay.
And we take that, and I'll say like, hey, if we put it into this account, it's going to grow at this percentage, or something along those lines, right? When people pull cash out.
Sure.
Right. Or I go along the lines of like, if you put that $280 straight back into your mortgage again, you're going to pay off a lot sooner. You're going to pay less interest.
Okay.
So even though your interest rate is at where it's at, the amount that you're paying is going to be drastically reduced because you're paying more.
Try to get that house paid off sooner or build more equity.
Exactly.
Okay, and since this is a money show, Ways to Love Your Money, I'm in the financial services industry. We're always looking for people that actually encourage, especially in a transaction like this, to save that money. Now, whether it's paying down your mortgage or putting it in a liquid position so that you have enough money to be able to pay off that mortgage all with one check, that would be our motivation to kind of have that conversation with people that are in your world.
Right.
Now, from a coaching standpoint, where are your biggest successes coming from? Like when you're coaching some of these people that need those systems and procedures, what has been your biggest success that you've seen one of your people grow as an educator?
Time blocking.
Okay.
Just having the ability to say that this time to this time is when I'm going to be working on a certain thing.
Sure.
And then like that, like for them, it's like, all right, well now I don't have to worry about I'm going to go to my email over here and I'm going to answer my phone over this way, or maybe I'll just go take a break or take a walk or something. It's more like, this is what I'm doing.
There's
and
a purpose
and
a schedule to everything that you're doing.
And then that's
what creates very successful people.
And a lot of my clients are like, I feel like I'm just, I'm everywhere all the time. And I'm just like, well, let's see your schedule. And they have nothing in their schedule.
Oh.
I'm like, all right, well.
No structure.
That's because you don't know what you're going to do. And when you wake up in the morning, your life is in disarray just because you don't know what you're going to do. So, setting up a schedule, setting up time blocking, all that kind of stuff, the things that they should be doing,
Kind of like how you do your coaching from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you do your work from 9 to 9 p.m.
Exactly.
So do you have a life outside of work?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We're worried about you there for a little bit.
I spent all yesterday watching football with my brother and my dog.
That's great. So is there anything that you would want to tell people that when maybe you're going to school with them, maybe a little bit younger than you are right now, to give them that same type of passion about whatever they want to believe in that they're going to do? Is there anything that you would tell yourself 5 years ago when you kind of started in this industry to focus on harder, dream bigger, experience more things that you maybe didn't get a chance to, or what would you tell that 5-year-old person years ago? What would you do? What would you actually pull from them to give them a better start?
Everything's going to change and whether you want it to or not, everything changes, and I think a lot of people that are younger, they're pretty much just set on that's what life is, Yeah. And if they kind of understand that everything changes, then they get to enjoy what they're doing at that time, right? So like you can enjoy going out to Vegas with your friends and stuff like that when you're 21. You can enjoy going out to the bar, or going out to the games, or whatever you want to do. And it's like, but once business sets in, and that's going to be a big portion of your life, you can't go back to that. So like enjoying where you're at.
Okay.
I think that's important.
Okay.
I feel like that's exactly why I'm okay with just working all the time. Because I lived a pretty awesome college life and everything like that when I was in college.
Okay.
I still worked, but I kind of enjoyed my weekends a lot more. I enjoyed hanging out with my friends a lot more. Like it was just like, and I look back and I don't really have any regrets,
Sure.
any regrets. Like about like, did I give this guy enough time, or did I talk to this person? I feel like a lot of people, they just drop people when they start doing work, and it's like it comes out of nowhere instead of just like
the focus changes.
Yeah, the focus completely changes, and that's why I mean like everything changes.
So it's about being adaptable. Yeah.
Like
so,
friends change.
Friends change. Yeah.
Crazy.
Sure.
I think like the statistic is like every 7 years you basically are like a new person, because like you just go through
a lot of things change every 7 years. That's a whole other show.
Yeah.
But it's true. There is a lot of change in life, and so you have to be welcoming and adaptable to change.
Yeah.
So are there any big goals that you still want to accomplish? Anything on your bucket list? Any fun facts about you that you want to share?
Bucket list. So fun fact and bucket list at the same time. I actually do stand-up comedy. That's why I did when I was in college to kind of be like my release. I was working all the time, going to school and stuff.
Yeah.
I would do stand-up comedy at Fullerton.
Okay.
Like I didn't do it near my college at all. I just went to Fullerton and then I just did it and I drove back. And one thing that I want to do is I want to incorporate that into my everyday life. I'm doing like stand-up a little bit more often. Okay. I've pulled away from it a little bit, but bucket list would be to actually do a show like open for someone that I look up to.
Wow. Okay. Any kind of signature thing that you're known for?
Nope.
When you were going to Fullerton, no? Just being you?
No, just
okay, and everybody just
went up
laughed?
and
You walked up and everybody just laughed?
Just talked about stuff.
Okay.
That's it. That's it.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah,
thank you so much. It's a breath of fresh air. We have a young individual out here just really being successful out there. Think about these things when you're younger. Don't wait to start. Get your education. Get all the experiences that you want in life and start to meld them all together. The one thing that I always say is we've got to save those small saves, even if it's $50, even if it's $200, or even if it's $1,000, because even if we're going through the process of restructuring debt of any kind, whether it's good debt or bad debt, the kind of debt we're talking about is the good debt. We want to restructure that debt, but we also want to save that money, because if we don't, it just goes to something called a lost opportunity cost. If you want great opportunities for your future, don't lose the opportunity of not saving that money for your future. Again, stay tuned for more episodes to come next week. We'll be back. Bye-bye. The information provided in this show is for informational and educational purposes only. This show is not investment advice, nor is it intended to address the financial needs of any particular viewer. The opinions expressed on this show are not intended to be an endorsement of any particular investment strategy or service of any other kind. You must make an independent decision regarding investments or strategies mentioned throughout the show. Before acting on information in this show, you should consider whether it is suitable for your particular situation and strongly consider seeking advice from a financial advisor.